Has your business been affected by COVID-19? The Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center is available to assist entrepreneurs and small businesses in the U.S. Virgin Islands. The SBDC is sustained by the University of the Virgin Islands and the U.S. Small Business Administration and collaborates with local agencies to support the small business community. The SBDC is nationally accredited and provides free consulting, business education training, and technical assistance. Attend workshops with subject matter experts from both the public and private sector. From idea generation to exit strategies, the staff at the SBDC is ready to assist you. Now is the time to contact them, so don't wait. Call or email them to find out how they can help your business grow and succeed.
Afternoon and welcome to the SBDC Lunch and Learn. My name is Mary Jo Williams. I'm the business counselor at the Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center, and I will be your facilitator and moderator for today's session. And today's session is the Virgin Islands Economic Authority Enterprise Zone Commission. And our presenter for today is Ms. Nadine Marchena-Ken. Today's session is being recorded and it is also live on Facebook. Ms. Marchena-Ken is the Managing Director of the Enterprise Zone Commission, a division of the Economic Development Authority, government of the Virgin Islands. Her task is to revitalize blighted and distressed historic neighborhoods within the territory. Previous to this position, Mrs. Marchena-Ken held the positions of Assistant Chief Executive Officer and Assistant Director of the Industrial Development Commission. A native of the U.S. Virgin Islands, Mrs. Marchena-Ken attended All Saints Cathedral School in St. Thomas. She continued her education at Bernard M. Baruch College, City University of New York, and earned a BBA in International Marketing with a minor in Public Relations. Mrs. Marchena-Ken has honed her skills working for trading companies such as NI, National Intergroup, World Trade, and Mitsui and Company, the second largest Sagosa, where she worked in the New York office, as well as the Tokyo headquarters. Her experience at these multinational companies have helped her to master the understanding of how critical information is to any successful venture. Ms. Marchena-Ken is the past chairperson of the Small Business Development Center's Advisory Board and serves as a member of several other boards. She is a certified public manager, a University of the Virgin Islands Cell instructor, and she is also the author of The Ties That Bind, a Virgin Islands History. And Ms. Marchena-Ken is presenting the second to the last webinar in the VI Economic Development Authority series. So without any further delay, we have two poll questions. The first poll question is, where are you located? And if you guys could take a minute to answer these questions, well, not a minute, take a few seconds to answer these questions to give Ms. Marchena-Ken an idea of where you're located, then we will proceed. Okay, I will end the poll in 2 seconds. The poll is ending now. And I will share the results. And of the people that responded, 36% of the people are in St. Croix. 55% of the people are on St. Thomas, 9% are from somewhere else. All righty, excellent. And our next poll question is, are you in business? And that's a pretty simple question. It's a yes or no answer. And I'll give you a couple more seconds for that question. All right. The poll is closing now. Voila. We have 60% of the people are currently in business and 40% of the people are not in business. With that information, Ms. Marchena-Ken, The floor is yours.
Pleasant good afternoon. With that introduction, thank you so much. I really want to thank the SBDC for inviting me to discuss the Enterprise Zone Commission. Today, it is something that's near and dear to my heart. And so we're going to hopefully have some fun. I know this is your lunch hour, and so we're going to make the best use of your lunch with regard to getting some information out there. So let's see. The title for this discussion is Frequently Asked Questions, because I think that would be the easiest way to get information about the Enterprise Zone Commission. You will see each slide, almost all the slides have buildings that the Enterprise Zone has touched in one way or the other, whether that be through our tax programs or our rejuvenation programs. And this one happens to be a rejuvenation. You'll see the before in the corner and then clearly the after. And so this one is done in St. Thomas. So before I talk about the Enterprise Zone, I really wanted to talk about the Virgin Islands Economic Development Authority. The Enterprise Zone is a unit of the authority. And, you know, many people think that the authority is the EDC or the authority is the lending division. They don't realize that we have so many services available from the authority. So the U.S. Virgin Islands Economic Development Authority is a semi-autonomous government entity that is really the economic development arm of the government. There are other economic development units, agriculture, the university, the ports, but certainly this is the main one. And then of course there's tourism, et cetera, et cetera. But this is the main one. And our goal is to help small businesses grow, to create a better way of life for the people of the territory. And so that's what we step forward to do. How do we do that? We offer all kinds of services. So we have site selection support, we have the industrial parks and so forth. We have business support services, including the accelerator program, a commission for the preservation of small business, which really speaks to businesses that might be in distress or a challenge. The commission does not exist, but when I say doesn't exist, they don't meet on a regular basis, there's no staff. But if you write a letter saying my business is in danger of going out of business, and I think it's worth saving. That's an important component, because if you're selling 8 tracks and that time has passed, then maybe that business is not, although it might be something that's really important to you, it might not be a business that's worth saving. But if your business is worth saving, this might be something that you might send in and say, here's my situation. You send that to the CEO of the VI Economic Development Authority. And then he will gather up the members of that particular commission, including SBDC, to see what we could do to assist you in saving your business. We have all kinds of programs. The Eligible Virgin Islands Supplier Export Promotion Program that, you know, I have worked on that program myself to take people who are manufacturing product or offering services to places in the world that they can sell their products. So there's lots of different programs that we offer. The incubator, the Made in the USVI pop-up shop. I mean, it goes on and on. We offer small business loans, loan guarantees. There are tax benefits, and we'll talk about some of those today. Community development, abandoned property programs, and so forth and so on. Thankfully, this presentation will be placed, I think, on a site at SBDC so that you can, of course, come back to this particular presentation. But I just wanted you to know the width and breadth of the information and the services available at the USVIEDA. So why are these benefits offered? The Enterprise Zone Commission offers tax credits and tax exemptions, and it is within the law. Title 29, Chapter 19 speaks to providing tax benefits to revitalize once vital, vibrant communities that are now considered distressed. And I thought this picture in the lower right-hand corner of your screen really talks about distress, right? It was a building that was there, but it was basically not functioning. And then the owners put themselves together and found a wherewithal to put together this building, and it has been occupied since it was built. This is in Christiansted. So that's why we offer the benefits, to revitalize these towns. Where are the enterprise zones? And so we have 5 zones. So we have Christiansted, and the map in the upper right-hand corner is Christiansted. It really covers, I would say, Gallows Bay to North Richmond. As you can see, there are lines, and the lines really indicate you could be on the other side of that line and not be eligible. You would not be eligible for the benefits, right? So you have to be within the outline as presented in the map. Frederiksted, another zone, and that goes from basically Polly Joseph Stadium all the way out to Queen Mary Highway, Mars Hill area. And again, the lines, you see it, very distinctive, that you can be outside if you're across the street for somebody who could be inside. In Charlotte Molly, you have 2 zones. So St. Croix has 2 zones and Charlotte Molly has 2 zones. There are 2 historic zones, and then there's an additional zone we're going to talk about in a few minutes. But in Charlotte Molly, we have 2 zones, the Savon Down Street zone, and you'll see it delineated there. The blue hatched area are the expanded areas of that particular zone. So now the zone goes from the back of all, is what we would say, the back of Savon, all the way to the waterfront in certain areas. And then it stretches down to the cemetery in other areas. Then it goes all the way up, part of Back Street. It does not cover Main Street. And then it runs into another zone. And the other zone is the Upstreet Garden Street zone. And the pink hatch is the expansion of that zone. Again, the lines are critical. You need to know that you're inside or outside the line. These maps are available online at our website. And I'll give you the website in a few minutes. There are no zones on the island of St. John. The final zone is the newest of the zones, and that's the South Shore Trade Zone. And that covers the South Shore of St. Croix, or part of the South Shore of St. Croix, from Crouse Lagoon all the way to West Airport Road. It includes the airport. It includes the William Roebuck Industrial Park. It includes the racetrack, Betsy's Hope, the ports, the deep water port, and so forth. So you can see that outline. It really runs basically along the Melvin Evans Highway, and it does exclude, the line does exclude certain areas. So what are the benefits? The benefits include tax exemptions of 90% exemption on corporate income tax, 100% exemption on gross receipt taxes, and 100% exemption on property taxes, right? For some of the programs. So that includes the South Shore Trade Zone, and it includes the PLAN program. The PLAN program says that I'm going to fix my building up. I'm going to invest a minimum of $10,000, not for the trade zone, but for the enterprise zones. I'm going to employ 2 employees, even if it's on a temporary basis, through my contractor. And I am going to put some kind of activity in the building that goes along with that particular plan. Okay, so let's take Frederiksted. In Frederiksted, if you are involved in food, right? In sports, in wellness, in culture, or in technology, you are eligible to get the tax exemptions that I just mentioned, 90% exemption on corporate income taxes, 100% exemption on gross receipt taxes, and 100% exemption on property taxes. If you were just going to fix up your building and you didn't have a partnership to put one of those types of activities in there, like you were just going to live in your house, which is eligible, you can get tax credits. And those would be 25% of what you invest in your building, right? So if you invested $100,000 in your building, $25,000 of that could be used to your tax liability, right? If you were just going to reside in your building and not do any of those activities, like technology, et cetera, et cetera. Each of the zones has their own list of activities that are eligible. And you could find that on page 9 of the application on our website. So you can go and say, okay, I'm in Savon Down Street. What are the eligible activities? They're on page 9 of the application. And you check off one of those and say, okay, we own a building, or we have an activity and we're going to share with or combine with someone that owns that building in order to make sure we're eligible for some of these benefits. You can't split a benefit, but you can share a benefit. So if you have a building, but you're not into technology, but you have somebody who is, you might say, okay, we'll share. The techies will fix the building that you own. You will get and you own the building in the zone, right? You will get the property tax exemptions. You may say to them, because they are the ones who fixed the building up, that they can use the income tax exemption and the gross receipt tax exemption in exchange for their investment into your building. It makes sense, right? That we would get a building fixed, it would be occupied, they can rent from you, right? And you share in the benefit package. Okay. Who is eligible? So you must be in the zone. If you're an individual, you must be a resident of the US Virgin Islands. If you are, you must have, you must invest at the minimum of $10,000 in your building, not in an account, not in only in machinery. You really need to fix your building up. It needs to be painted. You see how this one was nicely done? They added a gate. They fixed the shutters clearly. They took the trees that were breaking apart the building out of the building. They painted the building. They changed the windows and all of those types of things. They also got permission in order to do those things from the Historic Preservation Commission. You also must understand that you have to hire 2 residents of the Virgin Islands, even if it's temporarily fixing up your building. So those are the requirements for eligibility. How can I apply? Well, you can go to our website. The application is there. It's a fillable application. We ask that you email it back to us, right? We ask that you complete the full application. It's a very red application. So you'll know it when you see it. And the questions are very straightforward and simple. We ask that you put the attachments that are requested. There's a list in the back that's requested for the application to be considered complete. The process is that basically, once you have emailed that, you will receive an email back saying, thank you, we have received your application. If you don't have email, but you have access to the website, you can pull it down. If not, you can go to one of our offices. Our offices are normally closed in St. Croix, though. You can pick up the phone and call us. We can have it delivered to you or find a way to get that application to you on both islands, actually. And so that's how we proceed. Once we receive your application, you get an email back saying we received your application. Then it is assigned to an analyst, and that analyst will go through the application. And if there's missing information, we will contact you saying we're missing some information. If you've provided all your information and it's complete, we will indicate to you that we're getting ready to go to the board to advocate on your behalf. Most times we would advocate on your behalf unless you don't provide us information or you are not eligible for the program. And we will inform you of that as well. If you decide you're not going to supply the information, and we have, contacted you on many occasions, we're going to close your application, indicate to you in writing that we're closing your application until you can provide that information, and then we will revisit it. But basically, when we go to the commission, there's no public hearing. And so we were able to go to the commission, they make a decision, and you will hear back from us probably the same day that you have been granted benefits or that the benefits have been denied, and the reason for that. We will send that to you in writing as well. And then your application, your file is then handed over to the compliance division. Your certificate is created based on a conversation with you and a notification in writing. And then you'll receive orientation, which will give you the instructions with regard to compliance. We have a once a year compliance reporting. And again, you get a form that we need you to fill out and attach documents to. So that's the process. I thought that I would highlight some information for you so you can know more about the activities of the enterprise zone. First and foremost, the team. So you've met me. We also have a team member, Raheem Smith. He's the enterprise zone specialist, most senior officer. He is on the island of St. Thomas. We have Ms. Sheila Anthony, who is the compliance officer, and she also handles grants, and we write for lots of grants. And she deals with the compliance side of those grants. We also have Wayne Scott Jr. He is our newest member. He is the enterprise zone specialist on the island of St. Croix. And so the specialists are the people on the street, finding out more about what's going on in the zone. They're the people that would probably contact you. They're the ones who are assigned the information so that they could go ahead and deal with your application, regardless of what type of application it may be. So the highlights for 2021, we opened our Made in the USVI pop-up shops on the island of St. Croix for the first time in fiscal year 2021. And we continued on the island of St. Thomas. We've been getting lots of calls with regard to when the Made in the USVI pop-ups are opening again. They will be opening in December on the island of St. Croix first, and then on the island of St. Thomas for that Christmas shopping. The Made in the USVI pop-up shops are stores that have within it products that are made in the USVI. So it is really a treat. The first pop-up we did on the island of St. John happened in fiscal year 2021. And we launched the Made in USVI website at www.madeintheusvi.com. Right now we have it down for maintenance, but it will be up in plenty time for you to start doing your Thanksgiving shopping. There are 28 enterprise zone beneficiaries at this time receiving tax credits in the 4 enterprise zones. The total projected investment of applications received during the 2021 fiscal year was over $519,000 worth of investment into buildings within the enterprise zones. We have a program that is definitely near and dear to our hearts. We probably expend most of our time dealing with the young men of this community. There's 37 graduates who are gentlemen of Entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is a program that works with young men 15 to 19 when they first come in to their cohort. The most recent cohort completed their final project and gained practical work experience in filming a commercial for an existing business. They are able, when they're finished with their first 6-week session, they're able to do Shark Tank type presentations on their business plans and convince someone why they should invest in their business. These are young men that are on the corners of our communities and our neighborhoods. And by the time they're finished, they're ready to rock and roll with their businesses. So it's something that we are most proud of. The enterprise zone is actively working on our anchor projects. We have worked with each community to create community plans, and each community has anchor projects. And so within the Frederickstead and the Savon Down Street communities, they're anchor projects, and they came to this separately. Their anchor activities included food. And so we have started working on creating an agro-processing and clean kitchen facility in both districts. The building within St. Thomas is the old Marcelli School, or Washington School, depending on how long you have lived in the Virgin Islands. In Frederickstead, we are looking at 3 or 4 buildings to solidify which ones or which combination of ones will be the agro-processing and clean kitchen facilities. The Garden Street Upstreet community is doing a School of the Performing Arts or a Performing Arts Center with a museum. And the Christiansted Anchor is an art center with studio spaces and spaces for nonprofits. And so that's the St. Croix Foundation. We call it the Moorhead Center. And in Garden Street Upstreet, it's the Jarvis School Corridor. Those are our anchors, but we do have sub-anchors. So we'll talk about that if there are questions with regard to that. We are managing over $882,000 worth of grants as we speak. We have just applied for some major grants as well. So we are waiting the returns on those. So I'm going to stop here because I want to open the session to questions. You will find out more information just so that you're aware. I'll answer as many questions as I can answer, but you can go to our website, www.usvieda.org. If you want to find out more about the USVI Trade Zone, you can go to www.usvitradezone.com. Or if you want to find out more about the about things to purchase that are locally made, we have our website, www.madeintheusvi.com. Again, that one is down right now for maintenance, but will be up soon again. You can reach me personally at nmarchena@usvieda.org, or the team at the Enterprise Zone Commission at EZC@usvieda.org. Or if you want to find out information about any of our programs at the USVI EDA, info@usvieda.org. And you see our telephone numbers there. You can call either number and ask for me, and they'll transfer you. So I'd like to thank you at this point. I want to open it up for questions if there are any questions. So I'm going to stop sharing so that we can see the community as it goes. No questions at all.
Well, thank you, Ms. Marchena Ken. We do have a question.
Oh, okay.
First question is, does the Historic Trust have to approve the renovation if it's in the historic district?
So not the Historic Trust, but the Historic Preservation Commission does have to approve your project if you're in the National Registered District, which overlaps the enterprise zones. If you are getting ready to do something within the zones and you're trying to work on thinking about what you're going to do with your building, we can assist you with going forward to the historic preservation with you. So don't feel apprehensive. In fact, we're getting ready next month to have a webinar with historic preservation at the USVI webinar, Wednesday webinar series, so that we could talk about the things that, make people apprehensive, but that, we can work with you to accomplish the goal. So don't get apprehensive about going before the Historic Preservation Commission. The Enterprise Zone Commission will step forward with you if you need that assistance to assist you to get through that process.
Great
Any
question.
other questions? I think I've provided all the information that is necessary.
I
Here we go.
actually have a question. The $500,000 that's been invested, that's the owners of the properties investing that money?
Yes, ma'am. The owners of the properties have invested money. We also get grants, and those grants are invested in buildings within the zones as well as programs that we might run. So know that we have a rejuvenation program. That list is long. We work in collaboration with the Historic Preservation Commission, who provides monies to fix buildings. And so as quickly as they provide us with monies to do so, we go ahead and we go to the queue of buildings and the applications we've received in order to fix those buildings. So I see a lot of questions coming up in the chat now.
Right.
Greetings.
Go ahead.
I'm a business owner on Garden Street. However, I do not own the building. The owner has already made recent renovations. Do you have any programs that assist in growing? So the owner of the building can come forth, if it's recent, they can come forth and apply for benefits, and maybe they can work out with you. It depends on what type of business you have in the Garden Street area, that you might be able to share tax benefits, tax exemptions. They can on their own, the building owner on their own can get tax credits. But if you own a type of business that's eligible in the Garden Street area, you may be eligible to share tax exemptions. Okay, I hope that answers your question. What about titles to properties? So we just recently received a grant that is dealing with the estate planning issues. We're going to take on 2 families within each zone, and we're going to work out several things. We're going to work out their estate planning issues, but we're also, in doing so, creating a template for how to go about fixing your challenges. When you find and we offer estate planning conferences, and that I think we have one coming up next month, so listen out for that. When estate planning, people think, all my children get along, right? You have 3 children, all of them get along. And so I don't have to worry about the issues with regard to estate planning, but I encourage you to deal with this issue before you close your eyes, as the old people would say. The reason why is because with death comes challenges, right? There are feelings involved. And, the eldest child might say, you know what? I am the eldest, and so I should get the house. The middle child would say, I always took care of mommy, and so I should get the house. And the youngest child would say, well, mommy always took care of me. And so this is another way of her really taking care of me. So I should get a house. And all of a sudden there is war. How should we split a house? Well, mommy told me one thing, and deal with it before. Make a determination. Indicate if you want the house to be put in a trust, put it in a trust and say it is to be rented out. Child number 2 is going to be responsible, but child number 1 and 3 must get 1/3 each of the rental income from that house. Make a decision so that there is no discord. We're dealing with people that own a very small room, 2-room building that have 54 owners. And some of them don't even know they own, because they left 2 generations before. They left out, the child of the owner left out, had children, left out of the territory, had children, and those children had children. And they didn't ever talk about the fact that they own something in the Virgin Islands. So we're asking you, please, deal with your estate planning. Some of these properties are heritage properties. I'm a historian, and so I know some properties that were born, or that were purchased coming out of enslavement by a former slave, and they have passed those properties down from generation to generation. And now they're owned by lots of people. And the building is in deplorable condition. Imagine coming out of enslavement, putting all you have together to buy property as you come out. And this is what your great, great, great grandchildren are doing. As the old people would say, they're rolling in their grave. We need to fix these buildings and step up and do what we have to do. How do you apply for a grant is the next question. We have an application, and I would encourage you, I think it should be on the website, but if it's not on the website, we can certainly email you the application for the rejuvenation program. But I warn you that that program, there is a long, long list of people who are looking for us to do these scrape and paints. So apply, because some of them are getting monies through another program that we were assisting them with. And so apply, because you never know. What is required to meet the residency requirement? In the Virgin Islands, the Enterprise Zone Commission, there's different definitions for residency. The Enterprise Zone indicates that you must reside in the territory for a year or more. And that's basically it. You must reside in the territory for a year or more. If you have gone to high school and you're registered here in the territory, have graduated here in the territory, and have a voter's registration, then you're eligible, right? But virtual registration requires that you're here 3 months or more. But that's if you've graduated from a high school here in the territory. Other than that, you must be residing in the territory for a year or more. The next question is, do you have a list of properties for sale in the enterprise zone that need rehabilitation? The Economic Development Authority tries to avoid making specific recommendations for properties. Certainly, we have the outline. So we encourage you to find a realtor, or go to, there's a website that the EDA has, a split off website that the EDA has, that can provide you information about properties that are available. And so you can check there as well. The next question, do you qualify for a grant for residential use? The rejuvenation program, yes, is for both residential and or commercial use, and mixed use as well. So yes, all of those are eligible for both programs, both for the tax credit program as well as programs in the rejuvenation program. How do I get a building removed that is a fire hazard or crack haven? Okay, so Mr. Phillips, I just want to there's a couple things. One, the National Register District is a federal designation. So in order to remove a building, there has to be a preponderance of discussion with regard to it, right? Because some of these are historic buildings. I have shown you, and I want to go back up and share my screen for a minute and show, can I do that? Yes. And show you some of the buildings that were crack havens, etc. Right? Let me see if I can go back. Can I do that? And show, and I'm going to go back to the top. Did I do it right? Go back to the top of the presentation. I want you to look at some of these buildings. And so this building was occupied. It was not in great condition, but it was occupied, okay? This building was a building that had squatters living in it, okay? So it wasn't removed, it just was revitalized. Are you seeing, everybody, is anybody seeing the screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. Let's see.
Yeah, we're seeing the screen.
This building was a crack house. And before the owners, somebody bought it, and before the owners could finish this facility, it was already leased out, rented out. And this is a 2-family. Okay. This building was empty. It was not occupied and had not been occupied for years. Okay. So I just wanted, and this building was abandoned, basically. It was purchased by someone. People were squatting in the building. We went ahead and fixed it, and it was occupied the day that the contractor finished. The person moved in. So they had already saw that it was being fixed and moved right in and rented it. Okay, so I just did that so that you could see the opportunities that are available for fixing some of these buildings. If it is beyond, right? If it is beyond, then you can start with going to the Historic Preservation Commission and asking the team, the staff of Historic Preservation, what can be done, because it's a danger to the people around it. So we have boarded up some of those buildings until, the person can come and try to fix the buildings. But if it is a danger and there's no way to save that building, then Historic Preservation can give you further guidance. Okay. All right, let's see. How do we get the building removed? Can you work with me to identify owner? Yes, the enterprise zone stands ready to do so. So please just give us a call. We'll be able to help you with finding exactly who the owner is. Okay. Do the buildings have to conform to the previous design, or it can be modernized on the exterior? Okay, so let's start with the interior first. The interior can absolutely be modernized, because even some of the buildings now that exist, you'd be surprised. Some buildings exist and they don't have a bathroom inside. The plumbing, the electrical, all of those things, wiring it for internet, etc. You can modernize it on the inside. On the outside, if it's part of the fabric of that particular community, the National Registered District, the federal government requests that you have a certain look to the building. With that look comes money for this territory. You don't realize how much money comes in because it is a nationally registered district. We get plenty money because it's a national registered district, and it contributes to the fabric of the history of this territory. I almost, and maybe I need to issue an invitation to go walking with me in any of the zones, because I would like to really do an education on the history and why this building is where it is and why it is. And I think that maybe we would get a new appreciation for the building as it stands. Okay. And so I invite everyone on this call to walk with me. We have 15 minutes left. And I think we've exhausted questions. I hope that you had a great lunch and that you enjoyed or learned something about the Enterprise Zone Commission today. If you should have any other questions, please feel free to email me or give me a call, or call anyone at the Economic Development Authority.
One
Date
quick
and
question.
time of the walk. We can schedule that. I think that and you'd have to tell me which zone you want me to walk through. But certainly you can send an email. I think that you have an evaluation procedure for each chat. So if you can add Mary Jo to the evaluations, if you'd like me to do a walk and which zone, I'll be happy to do it. Garden Street. Okay, we can do that for sure. We'll announce it.
I'd like to see a walk in both of the districts in St. Thomas.
We could do that too. That I do that on a regular, right? For private walkthroughs, but certainly there are opportunities for us to do it as one large group. Bring your walking shoes. We will announce when those walks will happen. I really, on behalf of the Virgin Islands Economic Development Authority, and I see some team members on, Miss Adrienne King, and Managing Director Monique Samuel is on. She's our Managing Director of Lending. So there are loans. I'm sure she's coming up soon. I don't think she has gone, maybe she has. And in presenting the financing opportunities available through the Economic Development Authority. As I indicated in the very beginning, there's a lot of services, a lot of programs that we offer, and we are excited to do so. Ms. Adrienne King works with the 2040 vision as we try to implement the activities that were discussed and thought of and asked to move forward from the people of the Virgin Islands in order to bring us to a better economic place. And so I thank you all for listening to me. I thank SBDC for inviting me to present today. And I'm going to turn it back over to you, Mary Jo.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nadine Marchena Ken. That was a very informative session. I learned a lot, and you can sign me up for those walks. I love walking through St. Thomas, especially when somebody can explain to me what I'm looking at. So that's just great. Okay, now for those of you that have been with us on our walk through the Economic Development Authority, our next webinar that's a part of the series is going to be the Farmers and Fishers Loan Program, which will be the 17th of November at 6 p.m. That's in the evening. Another Economic Development Authority program that is not a part of the EDA series, but a part of the AARP Entrepreneurial Webinar Series will be the VI Economic Development Authority Micro Lending Program. And Ms. Monique Samuel will be the presenter of that. And that will be next week, Wednesday, October the 27th at 6 p.m. So we look forward to seeing you join us for those. And for all other programs that are being provided by the VI SBDC, you can register on our website or on our Facebook page, or you can scan the QR code. Ms. Marchena King, can you bring back up the presentation and go to the last page so people can scan that code? That would be fabulous. And on behalf of the State Director of the Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center and the staff on St. Thomas and St. John, we want to thank you all for joining us today. And we definitely want to thank Ms. Marchena Ken and the Economic Development Authority for providing excellent information, bringing economic development and opportunities to the people of the territory. Ms. Marchena Ken, thank you very much. And to all of you, have a fabulous day.